So doing the same thing over and over and over again each day and not getting any gratification from the same thing you're doing over and over, that is my definition of mediocrity. And mediocrity is what 99.9% of us are stuck in. Some people don't realize they're stuck, some people don't care that they're stuck, and some people are doing something about it. Now, the hardest part, one of the hardest things about... Exactly. One of the hardest things about overcoming mediocrity is overcoming your friends and family, because they're most likely living a mediocre life. And for you to do something over and above what they're doing and try to maybe surpass them in, financial, spiritual, whatever way it is, most likely it's going to be all those ways, self-developmental. They're going to look at you and, as much as they love you and want you to succeed, their inner critic, their inner ego is going to say, no way. That's against society. That's not something that you should do. You should go to your job, 9 to 6, 9 to 5, come home, make dinner, put the kids to bed, do it all over again. Have some fun, go on some vacations, save for retirement. And then when you retire, you can do your passion. That is so ass backwards to me. Why, when you're 60, probably 70 years old now, maybe 75, by the time I'm retiring in our societal norm, in 2016, why am I going to wait until I'm 60, 70 plus years old to do what I want to do? Why? Because society tells me to? Yes, it's easy to fall into the mediocre trap. It is difficult. It is time consuming. And it is a lot of energy expelled to push forward and do something that brings you gratification on all levels of your life, spiritually, healthfully, financially, abundance in all areas of your life. You want to spend more time with your family? Create the life you deserve. Why are you not worth it? Why are you not worth it? Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, am I worth it? Most of you are going to say, I'm not worth it. And you might not say that directly to yourself, but subconsciously, you've been so trained to not think you deserve everything. When I mean everything, I'm talking about everything. Spiritual enlightenment, finances, cars, houses, whatever you want. Traveling the world, taking your kids for a year trip around the world to experience. That is something that they will never, ever forget. Right? Isn't that stuff that we all want to do inherently? We want to travel. We want to explore. But society tells us we're not able to. Why? It doesn't have to be that way. There's a lot of people out there doing these things, right? One of the forefathers of this movement, the new rich, if you will, was Tim Ferriss, right? And look at him now. He is a phenomenon. His podcast has 70 billion, with a B, billion downloads, because he is living the life that people want to live. This phenomenon, if you will, this paradigm shift in the way we think is not impossible to attain. And it's the reason why Tim Ferriss has the #1 podcast, the #1 website in the world, right? Because we are attracted to that, because that inherently is what we are born to do. We're not born to sit in the classroom and learn things we're not supposed to learn, or don't want to learn necessarily. We're supposed to seek out education that we want to indulge in. I want to jump in head first for the things that I'm passionate about. I want to help people become a better version of themselves. I want to help people with their health, because another thing, and I can go down another rabbit hole with health, we are pushed and prodded into thinking that what the society tells us to eat is healthy. It's not true. We have to listen to our bodies, and that's going to be another talk of mine. But now I'm talking about living a life on purpose, living a life by design. Look in the mirror. Do me one favor. Let's do this exercise together. And this took me a long time to understand. This took me a long time to believe that what I was saying was worth something to me. Look in the mirror, and can you honestly say to yourself, I deserve to have it all. I deserve to be wildly healthy. I deserve to be abundant spiritually, financially, Health, wealth, love, and happiness. Hibiloha, abundance. I deserve it all. Now, I guarantee you, and for some, it'll come to you, and some, your mindset is there. You just have to train a little bit in order to practice and start to really understand that you can have it all. It's really about mindset. And, it's not going to happen overnight. I've been practicing, and I practice all the time, and I still practice. I have to everyday practice, right? To stop thinking like the norm. Do you want to be normal? Normal today is overweight with heart disease or some other inflammatory disease. Do you want to be normal? Or do you want to be living a peak, healthful life? In all aspects. I'm not just talking about food and diet. Normal is not where we need to be as a society. If we stay at the baseline of normal, our society ceases to thrive. You guys realize that, right? There's always people in the forefront. There's always people pushing the envelope. And those people can be you. Have you heard of the term sheeple? Yeah, I don't necessarily love the term, but it describes a group of people that kind of go with the herd, right? Sheep run in packs. They run in herds, and they're gathered together by the dogs that are able to keep them in a pack, right? And the farmers, they're able to see them, so on and so forth. Most people in this world are quote-unquote sheeple. They go with the herd. They listen to what society tells them to do. If a doctor tells them they have a diagnosis and they're going to have to be on medication for the rest of their life, and they have no way of healing that naturally, they're going to believe it because you know what? They don't know any better. We were never taught to know any better. It's not the doctor's fault. It's not your fault. It's all of our faults because we have to start thinking out of the box. Why not go to a doctor practicing Western medicine, get a diagnosis, get some type of, written diagnosis from him, go to a holistic healthcare practitioner, get their opinion, go to an Ayurvedic practitioner, get their opinion, go to a chiropractor, go to 5 or 6 different modalities, get all of their opinions, process that in this amazing vehicle in our head, this amazing thing that we call a brain. We're able to actually make choices. You realize that? And we make choices every day. But a lot of the choices we make are not ours. They're on autopilot. They're on our subconscious level, meaning what we've been trained to believe is how we run our life. Conscious choices is what we need to start doing. Soon enough, if we're training subconsciously and consciously making choices, our subconscious will change. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. You have to get the book. It's a classic. Get it on audio if you're not a big reading fan. I know, that's my son. He's listening. My 1-year-old right now is listening to my speech. Because you know what? They need to know at a young age. They need to know how possibility can be in their future. They need to know that they don't have to live a mediocre life. You can change the paradigm of your family today. And that's what my wife, Natalie, and myself are doing. We totally did a 180 in the way we eat. We did a 180 in the way we think. We did a 180 in the way we school, and so many other things. And we're still working on all these aspects. We don't have all the answers. That's the beauty of life. We'll never have all the answers. We'll always continue to learn. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing because our brain, until it stops working, which hopefully is when we're gone and not earlier, is when we will cease to have choices until our next life. So listen, if you're going to get anything out of this talk today, get this. You have the right to change. You have the right to be a different person, a better version of yourself. You don't have to succumb to what you currently are. There's a tagline on you right now, right? I'm a financial accountant, right? That's what I went to college for. That's what I did my undergrad in. So I did my master's in. That's what I currently work in. I'm a financial accountant, CPA. I do accounting. So people code me as an accountant. You know what? I have 50 other things that I'm amazing at too, right? I'm extremely creative, but do I get to really use my right side of my brain when I'm doing accounting? Sometimes, but most of the time, no. When you are not using both sides of your brain, because you know what? As a child, we were perfectly even. We were creative. We were analytical. We had both sides of our brain working on overdrive and soaking up everything we were learning. And somewhere along the line, like I said, it's no fault, but our society is our own. It's just the way it is. But you have a choice to change. Somewhere along the line, when you were little, you were taught that you shouldn't express yourself in a public area because you're being loud, you're being annoying, you're being irritating. You know, have I told my son that before? Yeah, I have, and I'm going to admit that. Have I changed my ways now? And do I stop projecting what I think is right on my son? Yes, I am working towards that right now. But you know what? If my son wants to sing at the top of his lungs in a crowded area and people are looking at him because they think he's weird and being disrespectful, you know what? He can let that creative outlet flow. And it's not his problem. It's other people's issues. That's what you have to understand. When you're annoyed by somebody, most likely, internally, there's something going on that annoys you because you have to work on that topic, right? If someone's short with you, someone's really snub and like irritating you, then you have to find deep down inside why. Do the work, you know? To get a little woo-woo on you, you know, we were given a lot of our traits when we were born from our parents, from our ancestors going back 12 and many, many generations ago.